and welcome to Icov Today. I'm Sophie Wallace and this is Joe Connolly.
It's been a massive week in entertainment and showbiz, and we've got the lowdown, the gossip and all the top stories on a plate for you in the next 15 minutes. And of course, you can head over to @media_Icov on Twitter to vote in our polls and see bonus content from the team. We'll be checking on with them later in the show.
But for now, Sam, can you tell us what's coming up on the show?
Well, Sophie, Paris Fashion Week is underway today, so we'll have an insight into that, as well as the Instagram battle between Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez. All that and the rest of the news for you later in the show.
First, though, the Oscars.
Yes, an incredible show with so many talking points. So let's have a look at some of the highlights.
This year. The whole story is about love. It's about loving each other despite our differences and finding out the truth about who we are. We're the same people.
Well, that was Green Book. So obviously there was a bit of controversy about that film because they said there was an element of it being based from a white person's perspective. What do you think of that?
I mean, personally, I don't want to comment from a white person's perspective, but I think that if it's done its bit to highlight racial issues, then it's good. Maybe in the future we could see a Green Book that's been directed by a black person to see what sort of different views they might take from it.
That's fair enough, yeah, I suppose.
Let's take a look at another highlight. Of course, Lady Gaga, not Lady Cooper, maybe in the future, and Bradley Cooper here at performance of their song Shallow from an incredible film.
But you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going. Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you think about that chemistry then?
As you could quite tell, they were getting very close, and a very emotional Lady Gaga who broke up with a long-term boyfriend apparently just a week or so before the ceremony. We do have a poll, of course, on Twitter. If you head over to @media_Icov, you can vote in the poll. Are they going to be getting it on behind the scenes? We'll have to check back with that later in the show to see what the public think. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Big story.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Now, the other big story was Olivia Colman's Best Actress win for The Favourite. Let's see a little bit from Olivia.
This is hilarious. Got an Oscar. Yorgos, my best director. It's Glenn Close. You've been my idol for so long, and this is not how I wanted it to be, and I think you're amazing. I love you very much.
Now, do you remember that episode of Who Do You Think You Are? Well, we know something about Olivia that we don't think she might even know. Simon, you're our expert here to talk about the fact that she has ancestry from the island of St Helena. You're an expert on the subject, we're here?
I've been to St Helena 3 times and I write about it a lot, yes. So they did a genealogy program. They discovered that one of her ancestors, 4 times grandparents, was born on this remote island in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, 1,000 miles from anywhere, just 10 miles by 6, 4,000 people living there. And it turns out that she's got ancestry from that island. Now, that was pretty amazing for her, and she was amazed when she found out. I think it's pretty amazing for St Helena too.
And a pretty special moment for you as well, of course.
Yeah, well, I think there was a big surprise when people thought, she's got St Helenian ancestry. They call them saints. I think we're now calling Olivia Colman a saint. And it's the island that's famous for Napoleon. He was exiled and died there 10 years earlier. The Duke of Wellington nearly drowned on his way to go ashore. They stayed in the same house, by the way. But in the genealogy search, they only went back as far as the chap Richard, who was born on the island, and he was a kind of clerk for the East India Company that ran the island. We've got something a bit more exciting.
Well, that was fascinating, yes. I didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't. And apparently we know something that she doesn't know.
Well, yeah, this is the St Helena history book.
Okay.
If you check, in 1787 there was a mutiny. Her ancestor put it down.
Wow.
She doesn't know.
Incredible.
I'm really sorry, we're going to have to stop you there.
Thank you for talking to us,
Thank you for talking to us. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now, here's Sam Wilkins with the latest entertainment news.
R&B star R. Kelly has been released from prison on bail after the singer turned himself into police on Friday night. Kelly, who refused to speak to the media as he was escorted from jail by his lawyer, has pleaded not guilty to 10 cases of aggravated criminal sexual abuse against 4 women, 3 of which who were minors at the time. Kelly is next scheduled to appear in court on the 22nd of March. Olivia Colman defied the odds of the Oscars on Sunday as the 45-year-old scooped the prize for the Best Actress for a role in The Favourite. Colman beat stars such as Lady Gaga and Melissa McCarthy to the accolade as she claimed her first ever Oscar at the 91st Academy Awards. Another shock in the night came in the category for Best Picture as Green Book beat both Bohemian Rhapsody and Netflix's Roma to claim its first of 3 awards on the night. Pop star Ariana Grande has been announced as the headline act for this year's Manchester Pride Festival. The singer will perform at a new 9,000 capacity outdoor venue as part of the LGBT event in her first show in the city since her One Love Manchester concert that took place back in June 2017 following the Manchester bombings. Steve Coogan's beloved character Alan Partridge has finally returned to our screens on the BBC for the first time in over 25 years last night in his new show, The Time. The show, which is set to be a 6-part series that's to be aired on BBC One, stars Coogan alongside Susanna Fielding in a mock live half-hour programme that has already received rave reviews from critics. And finally with the weather, we're to have sunshine and blue skies for the rest of today, with temperatures set to drop about 6 degrees later tonight. Tomorrow is set to be sunny throughout, with highs of 15 degrees at around 3 p.m. Later in the week, temperatures are set to drop partially, with rain expected over the weekend. That's all for now.
Thank you very much, Sam. Now, today marks the start of Paris Fashion Week.
Now, sadly, this year's event is the first without world-famous designer Karl Lagerfeld, who died last Tuesday, aged 85. Our correspondents Satenda Munzara and Tadiwa Katsande covered the highlights and lowlights of his life.
Karl Lagerfeld has had an illustrious career working for fashion houses like Fendi, Chloe and of course Chanel. During his time there he designed for the likes of Grace Kelly and Brigitte Bardot. He created the interlocking C logo, making it a symbol for the French fashion house. In his time there, he brought in over 5.2 billion in revenue. Lagerfeld found himself in controversy when Peter and Chanel went head-to-head in a legal battle about the use of fur in their products. A tofu pie was hurled at him but missed and hit designer Calvin Klein. He was branded as a dinosaur by the activist group, and in 2010 he sent fake fur down the runway. With a net worth of $125 million, Lagerfeld has left a perfect little inheritance for his beloved.
A touching tribute there to a man who made a massive impact on the world of fashion, and I'm sorry about the technical difficulties in that. If you couldn't hear it properly, we still wanted to pay tribute to Cole.
Yeah, and though possibly the biggest shock out of this whole story is that he left £150 million in his will to his cat.
I know, does a cat really have the ability to spend that much money?
I don't know.
Sam, if you were a rich cat, what would you spend it on?
Probably spend all of it on catnip and go out on a high.
Fantastic idea. I'd choose the same if I was a cat. Well, in the spirit of Fashion Week, we thought we'd go out into Coventry to see what fashion people are rocking today. It's very sunny, and Tyra went out to find out more.
So this week is Paris Fashion Week. So because of this, we're here in Coventry to find the best dressed students. First person I found is... I'm Cheyenne. Hello.
Wow.
Hi Cheyenne. Can you talk me through your outfit for today?
So today I've got on a really basic pair of leggings, like from H&M, I think they're like £6. Got the jacket from New Look in the sale, and this is about £7.
Never gone wrong with cotton.
So this is it's kind of like a thick cotton material, got it from Depop, it's like £12. My shoes are DKNY, but I got them on sale at TK Maxx, and they were like £30.
Can you tell us about your accessories today?
So I got my earrings, I think they're actually from Primark. They're just some plain hoops, can't go wrong with plain hoops. I got like a little basketball necklace. I mean, I don't play basketball, but it looks pretty cool and snazzy. I got that from Depop as well. I've got a little Travel is to Live bangle that my mum bought me for Christmas, and a Marc Jacob watch. Bargain, £15 on Depop. Love a bargain.
I'm wearing a jacket I bought in China online shop.
Yeah.
It's oversized.
Yeah. Can you turn around and show us the back of it?
Bag.
Yeah, the back of it. Yeah. Thank you. And what about your shoes? I've been seeing those kind of shoes around a lot.
This shoes is Balenciaga. I bought it from Paris.
Well, they were a bunch of very fashionable people, I'd say.
They certainly were. Now, another fashionable person who's been in the news lately and who is a massive celebrity, of course, is Ariana Grande. Now, her latest success is away from her music. She has overtaken Selena Gomez as the most followed account on Instagram with a whopping 146 million followers, which is an absolutely huge number. Are you a fan of Ariana, Sophie?
Well, I've listened to some of her music. I wouldn't say like I'm a proper diehard fan, but I reckon I like her music. She's not bad. Yeah.
Appeals to a lot of people. She is, of course, one of the biggest artists in the world right now.
Yeah, she's huge.
2 albums over the past year, and she's got some big tours coming up as well. I know a lot of super fans. We thought we should have a little bit of fun in honour of her massive achievement. Social media is all the rage these days, so a member of our team has got to work on producing some images of some photoshopped images of Ariana's latest Instagram post. Here's the first. Oh my goodness me, I didn't even expect it. I have not seen that yet. That is horrific. Don't know if you can tell, that's me from around about 2015 on Ariana Grande's body. Not really too flattering, I don't suppose.
Yeah, I dread to think what they cooked up for me.
Oh, there you are, Sophie.
Okay, that's not good.
Looking stunning as usual there.
Naturally.
That could be an album cover, I think. Oh, and there's me again. That looks like maybe a more recent picture. And that certainly could be me on the front of one of my music covers once upon a time.
Wow.
Well, that's incredible. There's one more, apparently.
One more, apparently.
I don't really want to see it.
This is going to be interesting.
There it is. Oh, Sophie. Complete with jewellery.
I'm not sure what's worse about that. The fact that my face kindly fits on that, but or otherwise, I don't know.
We have not been briefed on these. These are completely new to us, and that is just absolutely incredible. So well done to whoever produced that.
Yeah, well done.
Now, it's time to have a look at what the polls are saying. We asked you earlier, are Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper going to get it on after their performance of Shallow at the Oscars?
And 63% have said they are more than friends.
Incredible.
I agree with that.
I'm surprised.
In the look that they've given.
Yeah. I'm surprised that more people don't think that they're going to get it on, and that a lot of people disagree.
Yeah, well, speaking of things hotting up, given the unusually high temperatures and sunny weather we've had recently, we've got Jamie Wilkinson in the studio to tell us if it's time to change up your wardrobe to accommodate for the spring weather. Looks like he's enjoying the sun with those shades.
There he is.
Well, we couldn't finish off this show without touching on the weather, and you can see I'm definitely dressed for the occasion here, all black, but I've got some girls with me which are more suitably dressed for the summer months. Yesterday was a record-breaking day for February. We have Liana Petrova here, who's certainly dressed for the hot weather with a white T-shirt, pretty standard, but you know, white girls. And then you have Tyra, who looks really nice today. Have you not been a bit warm?
I'm all right.
Yeah? Those shades are really rocking them, I have to say. And the shoes, I love the shoes.
Thank you, Jamie. That's fantastic. That's all we have time for, unfortunately, today. But that was amazing. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.